A New Orleans woman is the latest person to die because of a suspected DUI crash.
A St. Bernard Parish man is now facing several charges, including vehicular homicide. As Tan Trong reports, authorities are seeing a recent increase in DUI cases.
The accident that sent Erin Randall to the hospital happened on August 7th right along St. Bernard Highway near Norton Avenue. State police say Erin Randall was riding her bicycle southbound when, for some reason, Wesley Ruffino veered off the road and hit her. She died yesterday from her injuries.
And that's always the toughest part about what we do and what we see on a daily basis, you know, the death notifications.
Louisiana State Trooper Monroe Dillon says so far this year, Troop B has investigated 415 DWI arrests, and it seems to be trending higher.
A number like that is always too high for us to see at all. It shows that people are exercising poor judgment.
Because of the accident on St. Bernard Highway, Wesley Ruffino now faces a charge of vehicular homicide, along with other violations.
And actually possession of drug paraphernalia, of which he was found to be under the influence of at the time of the crash.
The death of 49-year-old Erin Randall comes just days after several other crashes in which a driver was suspected to be under the influence. Last Saturday, a 63-year-old cab driver was killed in Slidell when a suspected impaired driver crashed into his truck on Highway 190. Before that, a suspected drunk driver crashed into this car that was being driven by a 17-year-old student driver. This also happened in Slidell. Some Good Samaritans pulled her to safety, but she and her driving instructor suffered serious injuries.
As a mom, it's really heartbreaking to see your child like that.
Slidell police say they'll be increasing DUI patrols this weekend to prevent such crashes.
They're unexpected, they're permanent, and most of all, they're preventable.
Authorities say losing a life in an accident is painful enough, but knowing it's preventable only deepens the sense of loss. Tan Trong, Eyewitness News.
The toxicology results on that suspect are still pending, and we tried to contact the victim's family in that case, but they weren't at her apartment this afternoon.